little action or a feeling, and two, learning to accept things that they don't have any control over, and they choose not to act or do anything on stuff that they control, and they actually have the conscious awareness to recognize it. The hardest thing to do for people, especially my crazy generation and younger, is to do nothing. It's the hardest thing is to do.
Why do you feel like you have to do something? What do you
That's
feel
a
like
good
you're missing out on, or what do you feel like won't be provided to you?
because doing nothing releases control.
Yeah.
People want to be in control of themselves, of others, or things.
Yeah. I was gonna say I think doing nothing. I think people may have some kind of misunderstanding with that because I do things that I feel called to do, and when I don't, I don't. Right? I don't do things just to feel like I have to do something to say I did something. Right? Just sitting there allowing is like okay, yeah, I just feel like chilling right now, so I'm just gonna chill. And then when that idea that excites me or lights up my heart comes to me, I'm like, oh, okay. Well, now I feel like doing this. And I just act upon that. Right? And I think people have this sometimes misconception, at least with my own personal journey, is that we're constantly always supposed to be doing. Right? And if you just allow yourself to be, I think that's when you get the greatest amount of blessings because you're not forcing anything. You're just allowing at that point. What do you think, Kiyosa?
Yes, and when you get to a point where doing nothing becomes a concern, you ask yourself, what do I need in this moment? And be present in the moment for the response you might get. An indication in your body, a sensation. You might actually hear, feel something, a presence. You might have a remembrance. You might want to reflect. You might need to actually shift out of that location to be outside, you know. You might need to walk, right? You might need to just lie down on earth, right? There are infinite options. But as soon as you get concerned, ask, what do I need in this moment?
Mm-hmm. I guess for me and a lot of other people, sometimes what we need, assuming we can even differentiate the difference between a want and a need, but let's just say it's an actual need, sometimes it's not either possible outright or possible at that moment in time.
You must give yourself permission to ask. To you. That's it. It's up to you.
What do you feel like there's a lack of? Like, what do you feel that you don't have that you don't currently attain?
I mean, a lot. Like, if we're just talking material.
But is that you speaking, or is that the program that society has created for you? Like, do you truly need the things that you think you need? Or is that like, just like, for example, right? Do you have a house?
Yes, sir.
Do you have food every day?
Yes, sir.
Do you have financial resources to provide for yourself and those around you?
Yes, sir.
So what else do you need? What else do you truly need? That hasn't been programmed into us saying that you need more of it.
I can answer that question.
Okay.
To know that that's going to be the case when I'm your guys' age.
It's gotten you this far, right?
Right, but the tools that I use may or may not be there. So I can't say the same thing will work. You see what I'm saying? So if the situation changes, that is what creates the anxiety. is knowing that the situation or the circumstances or the tools will be different.
And so will you.
Good point. And and where I struggle personally internally is trusting myself that I will be okay once those changes happen. That is the struggle of blindness.
Okay.
Ultimately, is I can't even say blindness. That's the struggle of life. Is knowing is not knowing. I actually am blessed to know, but in life you don't know. You never know what the future holds. You never know how things may change. So that's why a lot of people don't like to look into the future, because they don't know. But for me personally, I do know. I do know that the likelihood of me going blind completely is very high. So I'm very blessed, and I'm very proud of myself for what I've accomplished so far in life. I do know that I am extraordinary for that. But that's all with vision. How do I know with confidence that I'll be able to maintain, even just to maintain, not grow, not to get more, just to maintain
Yes.
all of this?
Very good word. Maintain. Will you allow me to either have my hand just a little distance from your back and or
Mhm.
touch your back?
Okay.
Uh-huh. Now I want you to actually sit upright.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. All the way.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. That's it. That's
Mhm.
it. Uh-huh. Very good. Exhale. Uh-huh. That's it. That's it. Yes, you do know. Stay in it, and you will always know.
I guess what I'm looking for is trust.
Yeah. In the now. Uh-huh.
That's the answer.
That's it. Uh-huh. So there was a impulse right here. You do know. You do know. Stay right where you are. That's all you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Yeah.
Listeners, like I can't describe the energy that's in this room right now. This is
Pure love.
it's love. It's every positive energy type that you can think of is in this room right now. And for if anyone knows me from my show, and I've explained to people in my show all of the negativity and the trauma that I've had to endure as an adult. I know negativity and trauma very well, more than most humans do, or Americans. I'll say Americans. And I'm always looking for peace and calmness, and I know I'm able to do that for a lot of people that I love and care about. But I've always struggled to do that for myself. So I'm always on the journey to be able to do that for myself. Because I think ultimately that's the most important thing, is to be able to do it for yourself.
Yes.
And like I said earlier, once I sense your energy, because I've been around people who are financially made more money in 2 weeks than we've made in our lifetimes. And I've been around therapists with 30 years of experience, and I've been around so many people, but it's very rare. I cannot recall the last time I've sent someone of your energy. So
Do you ever wonder why some of these people that you would say have all this money still commit suicide and aren't happy? Because the happy wasn't the core of who they were, wasn't happy. So the happiness wasn't going to come once they got those financial resources.
Correct.
They have to find that within themselves, right?
And that's what's funny. I'm not worried about the finances, because that's what I'm an expert at.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I coach. But I'm still very much a student in the mental, because that actually is a stressor. I know in 5-10 years I'm going to be financially on a whole nother level. But if I have the same mental and spiritual level that I do now, that's a concern to me. Because Kat, you're absolutely right. Because I know them.
Mm-hmm.
I have my phone where these people are more unhappy and stressed out, and they have 8 figures in their accounts than we are. Like I don't know. I can almost guarantee these people ain't in a room like this.
Yeah.
They cannot, because they're not in the present. They have to constantly move around. That's the nature. So that's why I appreciate this so much, because it's unique, in this fast-paced society that we're in. You're right, Kat. We're programmed to constantly be doing something. And I can tell you why we're programmed that way, because we're rewarded. We are rewarded, and we're rewarding our youth for doing that. To never sit down, to never just read a book, to never just spend quality time and do one thing with your family. We are programming everybody, not just youth, but really everybody, to constantly be doing things, and we're rewarding them. And our brains are not, I don't think we're supposed to be doing that. Like, it's not healthy.
Yeah.
Because you build up anxiety, you build up unrealistic expectations. And most importantly, you don't teach people that it's okay to not be that way.
Mm-hmm.
You're teaching people it's not okay to just be relaxed, to be yourself, to accept yourself, to make sure that you're not the most popular with the most followers. You're training people it's okay to not be the richest. You're training people to say you can be totally, you have to be rich so you can be happy. But most rich people aren't happy.
Exactly.
So key word you use is training.
Mm-hmm.
What did your training look like?
My training, I will say a lot of it is the same training that a lot of other people see, which is social media, which is society, which is, we need to make a certain amount of money to be able to survive. So that means, if I want to make a certain amount of money, I have to do a certain amount of professions. My history was I used to be in social services. I used to work in a group home in Oakland for adolescent youth. I loved that job. I paid $13.20. The next job I got paid $3 more, and I worked 1 hour out of 8. And I was on the computer doing nothing else. That's programming. That's training. Or we call that in business incentivizing. But if money wasn't an issue, I'd be right back at the group home. I'd be right back in social service. I'd be right back giving therapy.
And that's where you're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So change your perspective. So a moment ago, you allowed me to bring my hand behind your back,
Mm-hmm.
and then actually place my hand on your back,
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then your body adjusted, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now, make that adjustment again. That's your practice, is to stay aligned, and it'll all come to you. Everything you know, stay there.
Got it.
Mm.
Listeners, if you're listening, I pay $400 a month for therapy. It's not as good as this. Seriously.
So we're getting close to the end of the show, Kiosa, and your presence has been amazing, not only for us in the studio, but for our viewers out there listening, getting the message that they needed today, right? I think we said that prior to getting on air, is the divine conversation has already been had. We're just living in the present moment, being able to express it to those that need to hear it. So if you could leave our viewers with something today, just your last words of motivation, what would that be?
exhale. And begin again. Allow the breath to go deeper and deeper. We know to inhale, so we remind ourselves to expel energy and exhale. Just calming everything within and exhale. And you may find yourself in a position where you're curled up on the couch, on the floor, outside in the grass, with a friend, with a lover, with family, with yourself, wherever you be. Just exhale. And keep exhaling. And stay there as long as you need to. Because you can. There is nothing to run away from, nothing to get to. Just be. You're all good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, for our viewers that are out there that want to